Yes, good morning everyone. Yes, I'm here. Sir PJ Pason will be your lecturer for your second semester in the subject of General Chemistry 2. Okay, so welcome to our class, guys. And so our lesson for today is about the properties of liquids. So it's a continuation of the General Chemistry 1 kung saan natapos na natin for the last sem. So let's continue. For the first topic for this week is about the properties of liquids. So before we start, we're going to share to you the learning outcome. So what will be the lesson learned that we were going to encounter throughout this module. So first one, we're going to explain how the intermolecular forces affect the surface tension and viscosity of liquids. Another, we have to describe how the strength of intermolecular forces affects the liquid's vapor pressure and its boiling point. And last one, we're going to solve problems involving Clapeyron equation. Okay, so sana ma-achieve natin yan or ma-hit natin yung goal na yan at the end of this module. Okay, so cross fingers, sana makuha natin. Ayan. So let's enjoy lang. Okay? So first, I have here the KMM or the kinetic molecular model na kung saan it explain the properties of solid and liquids. Okay? Then under solids, we can classify it as amorphous and crystalline. And under crystalline, we have the ionic molecular metallic network group 8A. And under the liquids, we have different properties. We have the surface tension, the viscosity, the vapor pressure, the boiling point, and the heat of vaporization. So have particles held together by, so they are held together by the IMF or tinatawag natin the intermolecular forces which have different forces. We have the dipole-dipole forces, the ion dipole forces, the London dispersion forces, and the hydrogen bonding. Kung saan na-discuss na yan sa inyo noong general chemistry 1 nyo. So although it's a part of a recap, so recap natin yan later some different terms ma-encounter natin to continue studying the general chemistry 2. Okay? So this model explain the properties of mapapansin naman natin na explain the properties of the solid and liquid in terms of the intermolecular forces or the IMF of attraction and the kinetic energy of the individual particles. Okay, so let's start. So have an introduction here. So of your previous lesson, you have already learned what are the different forces under the intermolecular forces of attraction. So which is namely the dipole-dipole forces, the London dispersion forces, and the hydrogen bonding. So in this module, we will learn more. Okay, matutunan natin lalo pa kung paano nga ba or how the strength of this forces affects the properties of the liquids that we observe and measure. Okay, so focus tayo sa liquids. Okay, so let's get started. So I have here a figure of a boiling water and an alcohol. Okay, so so the images above shows two liquid substances, the water or the H2O and the ethanol, the C2H5OH. Okay, so these two liquids have different properties. Kung ano naman, di ba, napapansin natin, we have, it's different, although the same liquid, but they have different properties. So have you ever wondered why liquids boil different temperatures? So although they are both the same liquid, but they have different temperature when it comes to boiling point. Okay, so according to this, so the water boils. So when the water boils, it needs 100 degrees Celsius to boil, while the ethyl alcohol, on the other hand, it needs approximately 78% degree or 78 degrees Celsius, okay, to boil the the ethyl alcohol. So as na napapansin natin, so mas higher temperature need to boil the water than the alcohol. Okay? So ethanol also evaporates at room temperature faster than the water. So why is this so? Mas mabilis mag-evaporate yung ating alcohol compared to the water. So they have an idea? Basically, the answer is lies based on the structure of the molecule. So depende yan sa structure ng molecule natin as well as their intermolecular forces or the IMF. that present in a substances. Okay, so in this module, you will going to learn more of this as we discuss, and furthermore in this module. So we will going to also discuss the different liquid properties. Okay. So before we start, so we have first a review of the concepts about the intermolecular forces, or the IMF, or they are the attractive forces between the molecules. That's why the, although the, as we can see, the three, the phases of matter, di ba? Si liquid ay medyo, okay, as compared to the solid particles or phase, they are more what? Okay, kung dense or mas tikit-tikit yung ating solid, pagdating kay liquid, okay, meron may konting space na doon. Okay, yung properties ng ating liquids. So, they are very difficult to compress. So basically, yung ating liquids. Another, they are slightly expand when heated. Ayan yung mga properties ng liquids natin. And especially, they can flows and takes the shape of its container. Okay? And they has no definite shape. Okay? In terms of properties of the liquid. So in terms of their particles, diba, alam naman natin, liquids, they are weakly attracted to each other. Okay? And they are breaks their interaction easily. So madali siyang i-break yung water kasi nga medyo hindi siya katulad ng ating solid na dikit-dikit talaga. Okay? So mas madali siyang ma-break yung interaction nila. And they can vibrates. Okay? Their particles, they vibrates and moves more than those in a solid. So syempre, dahil medyo may mga space yung ating particles dyan, okay, mas mabilis silang mag-move and mag-vibrate compared to the solid one. Okay? And, syempre, they moves faster when heated. Okay. Sabihin, yung ating liquid particles, okay, pag umiinit na yan, so pag dumaan yan sa boiling point, so mas mabilis silang uminit. Okay? Next, we have the dipole-dipole forces. So they are attractive forces between the polar molecules. So I hope it is clear. It was well discussed by your professor or teacher in the last semester about the general chemistry one. So I hope it's clear already. So then the London dispersion forces that are present between the molecules of all molecular substances. Dispersion forces are the only force of attraction between nonpolar molecules. And hydrogen bonds that are special strong dipole-dipole interaction between the molecules that have hydrogen bonded to a highly electronegative atom such as the oxygen, nitrogen, and the fluorine. Okay? So alam ko naman it's clear to you guys. Yes. Then the London dispersion forces, they are a weak force of attraction, hydrogen bonding. On the other hand, it is a relatively strong force of attraction between the molecule. So basically, magkamakamakan yan ng London dispersion forces natin. Okay? So I hope it's a part of a review na kailangan nating na master basically, or mas clear na dapat sa atin to kasi nga we're focusing ahead for the properties of the liquids, kung saan part pa rin sila, kung bakit nagkakaroon ng different properties yung ating liquids. So, sana clear na to sa inyo. So, ayan. So, let's move on. So, the intermolecular forces determine the book properties such as the melting points of a solids and boiling points of a liquid. So, liquids boil when the molecules have enough thermal energy to overcome the intermolecular attractive forces that hold them together. So, si liquid boils, syempre, it will boils when the molecules have enough thermal energy. So, syempre, hindi naman yan magbo-boil kung wala siyang source of heat. So, basically, kailangan niya ng heat, okay? Or nako-convert siya into thermal energy, okay? Kung saan patuloy na lang, kung hanggat kayang labanan ng intermolecular attractive forces natin, patuloy silang mag-hold, okay? Thereby forming a bubbles of the vapor within the liquid. So, ibig sabihin, parang unti-unting binibreak ng ating thermal energy yung attractive forces meron ng ating liquid. So that's why pag nagpapakulo tayo ng tubig, we can see the bubbles, okay, na nagbe-vaporize, okay, within the liquid. Similarly, in solid milk, when the molecules acquire enough energy, to overcome the intermolecular forces that lock them into places in the solid. So the other liquid properties affected by the strength of intermolecular forces are the different properties of liquids, which is we're going to discuss this later. The surface tension, the viscosity, the heat of vaporization, and the vapor pressure. So, because as compared to the solid melts naman, so si solid melts naman, so, pag nag-acquire naman sila ng thermal energy from the environment, okay? So, ibig sabihin na overcome na nila ulit yung ating intermolecular forces kung saan. Kaya nag-tendency nun, mamimelt na, okay? Especially kung ice yun, okay? So, mamimelt na. So, ibig sabihin, hindi na overcome yung intermolecular forces. Kasi nga, due to the thermal energy or the temperature and the environment. Okay? So, this is the intermolecular forces of the liquid properties. So, what is first the surface tension? So, this is the first property that we're going to discuss about the surface tension. Okay, ano ba yung surface tension na yan, guys? Are you familiar with this word? O have you experienced or may nakita na ba kayong ganito? Okay? May nakita na kayong ganyan? So, basically, liquids do not have a simple regular structure. Alam naman natin yan. But many of their properties can be explained qualitatively by viewing them at a particular level. Okay. So, first, what is surface tension again? So, ito yung mga, kung have you observed na may nakita na ba kayong parang insect or spider na kayang mag-travel, okay, above the water. So, it shows surface tension. Okay, kung napansin nyo na yung mga ganun. O kaya, yung mga water forms beads on the leaves. Kung napapansin kayo, yung after the rain, di ba? Nakita natin, meron tayo yung mga sa dahon, nakita natin na nagpo-form of beads. So, mga bilog-bilog yung mga water natin dyan. Kasi nga, meron silang tinatawag na surface tension. So, ano bang meron sa surface tension na to, sir? Okay, the surface tension is the energy required to stretch or increase the surface area of a liquid. So, the keywords there is, okay, we have the energy that need to or required to stretch or increase the surface area. Okay, so the surface tension also is the elastic tendency of a fluid surface which makes it acquire the least surface area possible. Kaya 'di ba nagkakaroon. So depende rin sa area na sakop ng ating substance kung paano niya ma-hold or mapapanatiling hindi lumulubog ng isang bagay o ma-hold yung ating surface tension. Basically, the surface tension is a liquid result from an imbalance of cohesive forces between the molecules. So molecules in the book liquid experiences cohesive forces with other molecules in all directions. And molecules at the surface of a liquid, on the other hand, experiences only a net inward cohesive forces. Okay, so under the surface tension, so it is to resist the external force and thus assume a lesser surface area. So basically, sabi dito, pag mas mataas daw ang ating intermolecular forces or the IEMF, mataas din daw yung, okay, directly proportional din daw yung ating surface tension. So, ibig sabihin kung mas malakas yung attractive ng molecules, okay, sa liquid, ibig sabihin mataas din yung surface tension nun. Okay? So, ayan, kung napapansin natin sa ating figure, so we can observe the surface tension. So, it's a liquid part. So, that's why papansin natin tong ating mga, ayan, yung ating mga particles. So, may mga certain space yan. Ayan, so it's intermolecular force yung dahilan kung ba't siya nagkakagana ng arrow. So, okay, definitely the forces or the cohesive forces with the other molecules in all direction. Napapansin natin yan, kahit saang direction yan, kita natin yung cohesive forces na sinasabi. And ayan, at we can observe also with our diagram. So, meron tayo dyan tinatawag na force. Okay, naapektuhan yung force. And we have net force, molecule at the hook of the liquid. So, we have different direction. Okay. Kaya, kung napapansin natin, di ba yung water, okay, yung water, kaya yung dun sa ating, yung sa ating, kung napansin niyo yung after the rain, yung sa leaves na may mga parang beads of water. So basically, yun yung yung tinatawag na, ayun yung mga forces, yung paikot nun. So hino-hold nila, okay? Hanggat kaya nilang i-hold, magsasama-sama talaga yun. Yung parang book of liquids or yung tinatawag nating the the kabuuan, okay, ng water niya. Kaya patuloy silang nag-hold doon, okay? Unless kung walang na-affect ng other factor from the environment. Okay? So intermolecular forces and the surface tension. So the surface tension of liquids varies greatly based on the nature and the strength of the intermolecular forces. Ibig sabihin, nakadepende. Okay, yung surface tension natin. Kung anong meron sa, kung gaano kalakas or ka-strength ang ating intermolecular forces. Okay? The stronger the intermolecular forces, the greater the surface tension. So, ibig sabihin, kung masabi ko nga kanina, kung mas mataas yung ating IMF, basically, tataas din yung ating surface tension. Then, why does water have a high surface tension? So, tingnan mo bakit kaya mataas yung surface tension ng water. An idea? Okay. So, basically, water is one of the liquids with the greatest surface tension. Water molecules have strong adhesive forces which make it molecules highly attractive to one another. So, ibig sabihin, meron siyang tinatawag na cohesive forces. Kaya nagiging, mataas yung surface tension ng water natin. Then, water's high surface tension is mainly due to the hydrogen bonding in between its molecules. So, may kinalaman pa rin tinatawag natin hydrogen bonding kasi mataas yung ating IMF. Therefore, so may epekto rin siya sa ating surface tension. So basically, because of the molecules itself, at yung tinatawag natin the cohesive forces. Okay. So what are the applications of the surface tensions? Okay, ano ba yung application yan? So here are some application of the surface tension of water. So the first image shows, ayan, kita natin yung image natin. Nakikita natin madalas sa mga leaves after the rain. Okay, the first image shows how water tends to form spherical droplets. So, ibig sabihin, kaya nahuhold yun ng ganyan because of the surface tension. Okay? At the same time, meron kinalaman dyan yung IMF natin or the intermolecular forces. So, the second picture naman, ayan, kung nakita na kayo niyan, the water strider. Ayan, sinasabi ko kaninang may mga insect or animals na kayang mag-travel or they can walk above the water because of the surface tension again. So may tinatawag doon the elastic film, like the surface of water. Kaya napapansin natin yan, nagkakaganyan siya. So kinakaya niya yung area. That's why hindi siya lumulubog. Okay? Kasi hindi naman din siya masyadong mabigat yung ating tawag dito, yung water strider na yan. That's why they can walk, okay, above the water or the surface of the water. Okay, yun yung mga application ng surface tension natin. And attractive forces related to the surface tension. Sabi natin kanina, the higher the intermolecular forces, the higher its surface tension. Okay, so we have two types of surface tension that na-experience ng ating surface tension. We have the cohesive forces, which is na-discuss rin natin ito kanina, and the adhesive forces. So, ano yung pinagkaiba ng dalawang to? So, the intermolecular attraction between like molecules is called the cohesion or the cohesive forces. So, ibig sabihin, pag like yung molecules, so the keyword there is like. Ibig sabihin, pag gusto nila isa't isa, they like each other. So, basically, they are possessing the force which we call the cohesion or the cohesive force. Okay? So basically, ito may example tayo later. Example tayo. And another one, the intermolecular attraction between unlike molecules is called adhesion or the adhesive forces. So the keyword there is unlike. So they are basically opposite to each other. Okay? So the adhesive forces are responsible for the attraction of a liquid in a solid surface. So cohesive forces are responsible for the surface tension. Okay? So basically, yung dalawang to, may example tayo dito. And kung nakikita nyo, so kung meron tayong test tube, ayan, kung may test tube tayo, then meron tayong water inside that. So, pag tinapon natin yung water, ano napapansin natin? Pag tinapon natin yung water doon sa loob ng test tube, anong meron? So, anong pinapakita niya? Cohesion or adhesion. So, basically, pag tinapon natin siya, ang pinapakitang force niya doon ay adhesion or the adhesive forces. Bakit? So, basically, sabi kasi dito, unlike. So, basically, kaya napapansin natin, pag tinapon natin yung water, not totally the net weight or the dami ng water, except nung nilagay natin siya sa ating test tube nung tinapon natin, di ba papansin natin may natitira pang water doon sa gilid-gilid ng ating test tube. Kasi nga, yung they are under the adhesion. Ibig sabihin, hindi, unlike, okay? Although nagsama-sama sila doon na sa loob sila at nakapag-create sila ng concave meniscus. Ayan, papansin natin, di ba? Parang siya, pa-cave, pa-ilalim. Ayan, pa-concave yung water natin doon. So, basically, may natira kasi nga they are possessing the adhesive forces. So, may natitira dong water at hindi nasasama lahat. Hindi lahat yun napunta na or natatapon sa labas. Kasi unlike forces, like sabihin na-attract yung other liquid doon sa ating solid surface, which is the test tube. So, na-attract din siya doon. Okay? So, pwede rin mag-attract. So, basically, na-attract din naman talaga yung liquid sa sa solid surface or the same, both phases matter. Then, the other example, so kung are you familiar with the Hg or the mercury? So, basically, hindi naman siya, hirap yan, hindi yan basta-basta pinaglaruan. But basically, pag nilagyan sila sa test tube, guys, so they can create a convex meniscus. So, napapansin natin, so under daw siya ng cohesion or yung tinatawag natin cohesive forces. So, ano ba meron dito? Once na tinapon natin yung mercury na yan, napapansin nyo kung napaglaruan nyo siya kasi nung bata ko napaglaruan ko na yung yung temperature ng mercury kung napapansin natin doon. So meron siyang ayan, pag nabasag 'yon, 'di ba? Pag nabasag 'yon, automatic nagsasama-sama din sila. Okay? So ibig sabihin they like each other. So the molecules like each other. That's why it's under the cohesive forces or yung cohesion na tinatawag natin. Okay? So ayun yung basically ng dalawang example. So pag lahat nasama, okay, it's possess the cohesive or the cohesion na tinawag natin forces. Pero pag may natira-tira pa, so they are possessing the adhesion, okay, or the adhesive forces. So yan yung two types ng ating surface tension na nangyayari. Okay? So let's move on. So another parts or properties of a liquids is the capillary action. So basically, ang dami na natin nakikita nito, no? So basically, ito, kagaya nito, what happens when you dip a piece of tissue paper in a water? Have you observed na, di ba? Pag nilagay natin yung tissue paper sa water, anong nangyayari? Nagmo-move upward yung ating, water papunta sa tissue paper. Okay, basically parang nagsa-suck up, okay, yung water papunta sa ating tissue paper. Okay? So this phenomenon is called the capillary action. So ang ibig sabihin pala nun is meron tayong tinatawag na the capillary action. So the capillary action is another phenomenon caused by adhesive and cohesive forces. So capillary action can be defined as the ascension of liquids through slim tube, cylinder, or permeable substance due to the adhesive and cohesive forces interacting between the liquid and the surface. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, basically, yung capillary action, nangyayari siya once na nag-suck up yung ating mga liquids, tumadaan sila sa mas maliliit na tube or slimmer tube, different cylinder o kaya different permeable substances. So, pwede siyang ganon. So, adhesive forces cause the water to rise at is attracted to the surface of the tube. So, sabi nga natin kanina yung adhesive forces natin. So, nagkukos siya na ma-attract sa surface ng tube. Kaya ang tendency nun is umaangat. Okay. The cohesive force, on the other hand, cause the liquid molecules to stick together. So, alam naman natin kanina, di ba, cohesive forces, lagi silang like molecules that will stick together. While the adhesive forces, okay, naghahanap siya ng ibang part or ibang phase ng matter to attract with. Okay? So basically, another example nitong capillary action natin is yung, di ba, napapansin natin na once na binigla natin, yung soft drinks. Okay, kahit soft drinks, basically yung straw, di ba? Pag nilagay natin yung straw sa ating soft drinks, basically may umaakyat na na liquids sa taas. So it's a part of the slim. So may dumaan siya ng slim tube. That's why it's umakyat siya onte. And tinatawag natin na capillary action. So yun yung mga basic example ng or application ng capillary action natin. Not only with that, also with the water, di ba? Ay the plants. So kung napapansin natin, basically, okay, yung water niyan ina-absorb by roots from the soil. Then syempre sinasak up yan pataas. So at the same, dumaan pa rin siya sa isang tube. Ito kung saan yung stem ng ating plants, no? So it's a tube. So nagsasak up siya. Basically, it's already a capillary action. So yung mga other application. Ito naman yung sa ating ayan, sa cylinder, kung meron kayo nakita, kung napapansin nyo, hindi siya magpantay, no? Hindi pantay yung level ng water kasi nga, mayroong yung tendency kasi ng water natin is to attract to a solid surface. So basically, this is a tube, is a solid surface. So, na-attract yung ibang water dito. That's why it goes up. Okay? The water moves upward by capillary action. So, ito yung tinawag natin na meniscus. Okay? Then, this is the capillary tube. So, yun yung mga basically na application ng ating capillary action. The second, properties of the liquids. Okay. So, ito na nga. Basically, yung plants natin na sinabi kanina na medyo na ano na natin, no, na advance natin sabihin. But this is the explanation behind that. So, ayan. Then the absorb, of course, syempre, it's already capillary action. So, and then the image at the right above shows how capillary action helps in transporting water into different parts of plants. Ito yung sinabi natin kanina. So, the pass through the tissue called the xylem, doon naman to sa parts natin ng plants, and the adhesion occurs between the water molecules and the molecules of the xylem cell walls. This together cohesion causes the water to move upward into the plant tissue. This is the explanation, the more idea or information about the figure that we discussed earlier than this slide. Okay? So I hope malinaw sa inyong capillary action. No? Ang dami nitong application na ginagawa natin every day. Ayan, marami-rami yan. So, just be observant and appreciate what science behind that. Okay, ganun kaganda yung magic ng science. Okay, let's proceed for the third properties of our liquids is what we call the viscosity. Okay, ano itong viscosity na to? So, ano yung viscosity? Viscous. Okay. So, discuss natin. So, viscosity, it is the liquid's resistance to flow. So, ibig sabihin ito yung dahilan kung bakit or pumipigil the liquids to flow. Okay? Possible dahil sobrang viscous siya or yung malalapot na liquid natin. Okay, ganun yung viscosity. O, viscosity of liquids increase with increasing strength of IMF. So, the same with in terms of the connection of the intermolecular forces, so may kinalaman is also a directly proportional yung relationship ng ating viscosity and the IMF. Sabihin, pag mas mataas daw yung ating viscosity ng liquids natin, mas strength or increase din yung strength ng ating IMF or the intermolecular forces. Bakit? Okay, because of the liquid can flow only with the molecules can move past one another with minimal resistance. Strong intermolecular forces make it more difficult for molecules to move with respect to one another. Kaya napapansin natin, di ba? Just like the paint. O, alam naman natin, di ba, yung paint, di ba? Ano yan? Tawag doon? Tinitimpla pa nila yon. So basically, dapat hindi siya masyadong malapot. Kaya nga, di ba? Napansin natin, pag malapot siya, ang bagal niya mag-move. Kung papaanohin natin siya, itatapon natin siya, then we let them, flow to the surface, di ba? Ang bagal. Kasi nga, unang-una doon, mataas yung viscosity niya. Okay, at the same time, dahil mataas yung viscosity niya, mataas din yung strength ng intermolecular forces natin. That's why, yun din yung nag-hold back, okay, sa paint na para mag-flow siya on the surface o nire-resist niya, okay, dahil din yun sa intermolecular forces. So basically, yun yung mga nakikita natin na possible na makikita natin basically sa real life na merong viscosity. Okay? So, other factors affecting the liquid viscosity is the shape of the molecule. So, basically, nakaka-apekto din yung shape kung bakit siya mabagal mag-flow. Okay? Then, as well as the temperature, sabi nga natin, di ba? So, kung mas mainit yan, ang mangyayari? So, the viscosity increases with the stronger intermolecular forces caused by the increase of molecular weight and the decrease with the higher temperature. So, ibig sabihin, nagdi-decrease naman daw yung ating viscosity, nagdi-decrease siya once na higher temperature. So, ibig sabihin, pag mas mainit, okay, pag mas mataas yung temperature natin, nagdi-decrease yung viscosity. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, halimbawa, lumamig masyado o nag-increase tayo ng temperature, so ibig sabihin, mas lalo siyang mamumuo. Okay? Mamumuo ba siya? Mamumuo. Or kaya, for example, pag tinaasan naman natin yung init, okay, pag tinaasan natin yung init, ayan, tataasan pala natin yung init. Okay, that's why it's higher temperature. Tataasan natin yung temperature, iinitan natin siya masyado. So, ang tendency ng ating viscosity magdi-decrease. Bakit? Mamimelt kasi. Okay? I-break kasi ng ating temperature yung intermolecular forces na meron doon sa ating liquid. That's why nagdi-decrease yung viscosity niya. Pag mataas yung temperature. So, ayun naman. But in terms of intermolecular forces, they are directly proportional. So, kung mas mataas yung viscosity, mataas din yung ating IMF. Okay. So, these are the example or the different constant for the viscosity of the different liquids. Okay, so it will be magagamit nito siya sa sa pagsosolve natin later for the heat vaporization. Okay. So, ito yung mga yung given or constant viscosity ng different liquids, acetone, the benzene, the blood, the carbon tetrachloride, the ethanol, the diethyl ether, and the glycerol, mercury, and the water. Okay, basically yan naman kahit naman 'di ba, kahit yung blood natin may viscosity yan. So ito yung mga yung mga constant viscosity ng different liquids. So magagamit natin yan in terms of solving problem. Okay? So later. Ito nga. So, molar heat of a vaporization. So, it symbolizes a delta H or the change of H or heat. Then, the subscript of VAP. Okay? So, basically, ito yung pang-apat natin i-discuss under the properties of the liquids, the molar heat of vaporization. So, ano bang meron naman dito? It's another liquid property affected by the strength of intermolecular forces is the heat of vaporization. So this refers to the amount of the heat or energy necessary to vaporize 1 mole of a liquid. Then the unit of this quantity is kilojoule per mole. Okay? Ito yung unit ng ating pwede rin siyang joule per mole. Depende. Okay? We can convert that later. Okay? Heat of vaporization is determined by the strength of intermolecular forces that exist in the liquid. Substances with strong intermolecular forces will have higher heat of vaporization. So, ibig sabihin yung ang relationship ng ating heat of vaporization in terms of intermolecular forces is the same. They are also directly proportional. So, ibig sabihin pag mas mataas, so increase or strong ating IMF, ibig sabihin higher heat of vaporization then. Okay? So, if the intermolecular attraction is strong, it takes a lot of energy to free the molecules from the liquid phase. So, ito na pag nag-vaporize, no? So, ayan. So, we have here an example. Papansin natin. So, we have a sealed closed container. So, when the rate of evaporation is equal to the rate of condensation, the system is said to be equilibrium. Okay, so naging balance. So, napapansin natin kung sealed yan, di ba? Napapansin natin. So, yung evaporation yan, so pag nag-evap yan, okay, evaporate yan, so the equal rate of the condensation is said to be equilibrium kasi hindi naman siya makakalabas. So, naging equal lang. Okay, the vapor pressure of a liquid is the equilibrium pressure of a vapor above its liquid state in a closed container. Okay? Then the vapor pressure of a liquid is a measure of how easy molecules of a liquid escape into the gas phase. Vapor pressure therefore is an indication of the liquid's evaporation rate. So a substance with a high vapor pressure at a room temperature is often referred to as a volatile. Okay? So ibig sabihin, yung vapor pressure na sinasabi natin, so yung magiging dahilan or mag-symbolize or mag-indicate sa atin na nagkakaroon ng liquids evaporation. Okay? O, di ba pag pag nagkakaroon ng nagkakaroon ng evaporation o nagkakaroon ng vapor pressure. Ibig sabihin, di ba pag mas mainit, okay? The higher temperature na nilalagay natin sa ating substance, mas mataas yung vapor pressure niya. Okay? Then, the vapor pressure varies from one liquid to another depending on the strength of intermolecular forces. Liquids with strong intermolecular forces will have lower the vapor pressure. So, ibig sabihin, so pag mataas nga daw itong ating strong intermolecular forces, mas mababa. Okay, mas mababa pala yung ating vapor pressure. Okay, kung mataas yung intermolecular forces kasi hindi niya hayaang maghiwa-hiwalay yun, di ba? Kasi ang lakas ng intermolecular forces. So, hindi niya hayaang maghiwa-hiwalay yung mga molecules na yon. So, therefore, bababa yung vapor pressure. This means that fewer gas molecules have enough kinetic energy to escape into the gas phase. Molecules having weak intermolecular forces have high vapor pressures. So, baliktad naman. So, ibig sabihin, pag weak daw yung intermolecular forces natin, ibig sabihin mataas yung vapor pressure. And therefore, it will evaporate easily. Okay? So, kung weak yung intermolecular forces natin, mabilis siyang mag-evaporate. Okay, yung ating liquid. Ayan, napapansin natin. Yan, this is the gas, liquid. Ayan. So, kung mababa yan, mabilis yan mag-evaporate. Ito yung mga vapor pressure natin sa taas. So, ang mahina yung IMF nito, kung weak yan, so basically ang mangyayari dito, ang bilis yan mag-evaporate. Pero kung mas strong yung natin dito, strong ang ating intermolecular forces, mababa lang yung water na mag-evaporate to the surface. Okay, ganun lang yung basically yung application ng ating ng ating vapor pressure. Next, proceed to the boiling point. Okay, the boiling point of a liquid is defined as a temperature at which the vapor pressure of a liquid is equal to the external pressure or the atmospheric pressure. So the normal boiling point of a liquid is the temperature at which it boils when the external pressure is 1 atmosphere or the ATM. So, ibig sabihin naman sa boiling point naman, ayan, it requires, syempre, it requires a temperature para magkaroon siya ng ganyan, higher temperature. And syempre, may kinalaman yan pag mataas yung temperature natin, mabilis yung boiling point, nagkaka-apekto yun sa ating vapor pressure. Okay? So, dumadami. So, nag-equal daw. So, ibig sabihin kung ano yung na-evaporate na water, equal daw yun dun sa external pressure meron tayo or yung tinatawag na atmospheric pressure. Okay, so meron tayo dito, ayan, for example. So, we have the evaporation. So, pag nasa boiling, tayo, no? Ito is hindi siya nagbo-boil. So, the vapor pressure, atmospheric pressure bubbles cannot form. So, napapansin natin, walang napo-form na bubbles dyan. Okay, pag hinayaan lang natin siyang maging ganyan. While, okay, nag-evaporate pa rin siya. So, medyo mabagal, no? So, wala siyang, hindi napapabilis. Bakit? Kasi meron tayo doong, depende rin sa temperature. Kasi we have there the IMF, okay? Then, on the other side naman, we have the boiling part. So, the vapor pressure naman. Sabi nga dito, vapor pressure sa evaporation na to is less than the atmospheric pressure. So, mas mababa. Okay? Kaya bubbles cannot form. Next, sa kabila naman, while in the boiling point, okay, the vapor pressure, ito yung sinasabi kayo na equal sa atmospheric pressure. So, ibig sabihin, kung under tayo ng boiling point, so yung vapor pressure natin daw is equal to the atmospheric pressure. That's why nagkakaroon ng or the bubbles can form and rise. So, napapansin natin pag kumukulo na yan, di ba? So, equal daw yan doon sa ating atmospheric pressure. Okay? Or the external pressure. So, intermolecular forces and boiling point. So, ano ba connection ng dalawang to? Tingnan nga natin. So, liquids boil when the molecules have enough thermal energy to overcome the intermolecular attractive forces that hold them together, thereby forming a bubbles of vapor within the liquid. So, ibig sabihin, nagkakaroon lang ng boiling of water once na, okay, yung thermal energy or yung heat natin from the external environment is na-overcome niya yung intermolecular attractive force na nagpapanatiling magsama-sama yung ating molecules. Okay? Pag na-overcome niyo yun, this is the time kung saan nagkakaroon ng boiling point. Okay, nagkakaroon. Di ba, bago umulo yung water, so, no, nakikita tayo mga bumubula-bula sa ilalim. Okay? Basically, ibig sabihin, unti-unti nang ino-overcome. Okay? Okay, nilalabanan ngayon. Patuloy pa rin siyang nilalabanan ng ating IMF. Although tumataas na din ng tumataas yung temperature or our thermal energy natin. That's why, pag na-break niya yung intermolecular attractive forces ng ating liquid, it is the time na nagkakaroon na tayo ng nagpo-form na ng bubbles, nagbe-vapor na yung water natin to the extent na magbo-boiling na siya. Okay? So therefore, substance with a strong intermolecular force will have a higher boiling point. So ibig sabihin, kung mas mataas daw yung ating strong molecular forces, higher din yung ating boiling points. Okay? So, kailangan taasan din para ma-break yung ating intermolecular forces. Kaya kailangan mataas. So, a liquid with a low vapor pressure at a given temperature as a high boiling point. So, pag yung liquid naman is mababa yung vapor pressure niya, so ibig sabihin, or at a given temperature, meron siyang high boiling point. Okay? Next, water has a higher boiling point compared to ethanol because of the stronger hydrogen bonding between its molecules. So, ito na, nasagot na natin yung tanong kanina. So, bakit daw mas mataas yung boiling point ng water natin kanina, 100 degrees Celsius, no? Para ma-boil yung water, while the ethanol is approximately nasa 78 degrees Celsius lang para ma-boil. Bakit? Because of the stronger hydrogen bonding meron sa sa water natin compared to the ethanol. Kaya mas mataas at mas kailangan niya mas mataas na na temperature para ma-break yung ma-overcome yung IMF or the intermolecular attractive forces. Okay, the boiling point at the atmospheric pressure. So waters and its properties, basically water has a high surface tension due to the strong intermolecular forces present in it. Water molecules are highly attracted to one another, basically, no? So water has a low viscosity despite of the strong intermolecular forces because it is a relatively small molecule. So pag tingnan naman dito sa sa ating water, mas mababa yung viscosity kahit mataas yung kahit mataas yung ating intermolecular forces kasi depende yon sa molecules meron tayo. So water does not evaporate easily at a room temperature or at a low vapor pressure and boils at a higher temperature because of the strong hydrogen bonding formed in its molecules. So hindi siya mabilis hindi siya mabilis mag-evaporate kasi nga strong yung hydrogen bonding ng water. Okay? Then, vapor pressure and temperature. As the temperature increases, the kinetic energy of a molecules also increases. So, directly proportional sila. Ibig sabihin, pag tumataas yung temperature natin, so, ng tendency ng ating mga molecules, tumataas din yung kanilang kinetic energy. That's why nag-move yun at kumukulo na. So, this means that as temperature increases, more particles will have enough energy to break the intermolecular forces. For them to escape into the gas phase, as the gas molecule increase, the vapor pressure will also tend to increase. And the vapor pressure of a liquid increases non-linearly with increasing temperature. So the figure below shows that the non-linear relationship of a vapor pressure and temperature. So ibig sabihin yung vapor pressure natin, okay? So nag-i-increase yan non-linearly with increasing temperature. So, itong figure na to, express, okay, the relationship of the vapor pressure and the temperature of liter ethyl and the normal boiling point, ayan, nakita natin. Then, so water and the ethyl alcohol. Ayan, so yan yung ating, yung ating diagram, relationship ng vapor pressure and the temperature. Si water, basically, need niya ng 100 degrees Celsius para ma-break yung ating intermolecular forces. Ito naman, 78.3, kailangan niya. approximately yung ethyl alcohol. Then the dater is 34.6 degrees Celsius. Okay, para ma-break niya ang ating intermolecular forces. Okay, so proceed tayo sa the Clapeyron equation. So, konting ano muna tayo, no? Solve. Okay, the nonlinear relationship of a vapor, pressure, and temperature can mathematically expressed using the Clausius-Clapeyron equation. So the mathematical formula is given below. So we have here the formula. The long of pressure 1 over pressure 2 is equal to the change of heat vaporization over R, and times 1 over the temperature, the final temperature minus 1 over the initial temperature. O pwede natin siyang gawin ganitong formula. So depende yan. So this is the equation na gagamitin natin to solve. Okay. So P1 and P2 are the vapor pressure, okay, of a liquid, while T1 and T2 are the two temperatures. And the delta, or the change of heat vaporization, is the molar heat of vaporization, or the enthalpy of vaporization in kilojoule per mole. R is the gas constant. So, yung R kanina sa equation natin is the constant o gas constant. Depende sa isang liquid. Okay. Is equal to 8.314 joule per mole Kelvin. Okay. So, ganun yung constant natin yan. So, meron din constant niyan in terms of kilojoule is nasa, dadagdagan lang natin siya ng 30. So, we have negative, no? Kakaroon tayo ng 8.314 times 10 raised to negative 3 kilojoule per mole Kelvin. Pag in terms of kilojoule. So, depende sa given natin. So, adjust natin kung anong gagamitin natin, constant ng R. So, the Clausius-Clapeyron equation and allows us to estimate the vapor pressure at another temperature given the molar heat of vaporization of the liquid. So, example na natin. So, for example, we have the benzene as a vapor pressure of 183 millimeter mercury at 40 degrees Celsius, taking its heat of vaporization to be 30.8 kilojoule per mole. Calculate its vapor pressure at 25 degrees Celsius yan. Okay, nawala lang yung C. Okay? So, basically, anong unang gagawin natin? So, syempre, identify natin yung mga given. Okay? So, yung given natin, we have the the vapor pressure 1, we have 183 millimeter mercury. And ito din yung ating, So, doon na nag-vapor na yan. So, ito yung ating first, tama ba? First temperature. Okay? So, degree Celsius, 40 degree. Then, taking this heat, so magiging, yung heat of vaporization natin is 30.8 kilojoule per mole. Ito yung, value ng, ng ating benzene. Okay? So, 30.8 kilojoule per mole. Then, calculate its vapor pressure at 25 degree Celsius. So, hinahanap dito ang ating, vapor pressure 2, yung pangalawa, dun sa final. So, T1 natin, or the temperature 1 natin, basically is the 40 degrees. Ayan. So, dahil kailangan natin siyang i-convert papuntang Kelvin. So, paano ba mag-convert papuntang Kelvin? Degree Celsius to Kelvin. Naalala niyo pa kung paano kino-convert degree Celsius to Kelvin? So, basically, meron tayong formula dyan. Okay, for i-convert natin, so we have degree Celsius lang, no? Degree Celsius. Wait. Hindi gumagana yung pointers natin. Okay, eraser. Okay. So, meron tayong yung pen natin. Medyo kapalan natin, no? Eraser next. Degree Celsius. And plus, ano yung constant ng Kelvin natin? 273. Okay. Constant ng Kelvin natin. So, basically, pag plus lang natin yan. So, para sa temperature 1, meron tayong 40 plus 273, we have 313 Kelvin. So, ito na yung conversion natin papuntang Kelvin. Okay? So, hindi natin, i-convert natin, kailangan natin i-convert tong 40 degrees Celsius. So, yung pangalawa naman, we have 25 plus, okay, 273. So, ilan yan? Using the calculator. So, we need calculator in this part. Okay? Kaya mag-ready tayo ng scientific calculator natin. So, we have here 298 Kelvin. Okay? So, ito yung gagamitin natin temperature. So, kailangan natin i-convert into Kelvin. Okay? So, next. So, ayan. So, yung formula natin kanina, pwede natin siyang gawin ganito. So, instead na magkaroon tayo ng P1 over P2, pwede rin siyang ganito. Okay? Si Ln, or ln of 183. Saan nakuha yung 83? Given yan. Ayun yung P. Okay? Yung pressure 1 kanina. Then, yung pressure 2, yun yung hahanapin natin. Kaya nandyan lang siya. Then, ayan, ita-times din natin siya dito sa kabila na 30.8, which is yun yung value ng ating heat vaporization ng benzene over the 8.314 times 10 raised to negative 3 kilojoule per. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. So, yung R natin, nagiging value niya ng R, ito yung another value ng R. Kasi yung R kanina natin na given is naka-joule. Pag naka-kilojoule siya, ito yung value ng R natin. Okay? Ayan. Pag kilojoule. Pero pag joule yung given, ito kasi nagkataon na kilojoule. Kaya ang gagamitin natin constant for the gas, okay? Or for this equation is the kilojoule. Kasi kilojoule yung given ng benzene. So kung naka-joule yan, gagamitin natin yung isa kanina na 8.31, ano yan? 8.314 joule per mole Kelvin. So dahil naka-kilojoule to, basically, ito yung gagamitin natin value ng R. Okay, constant. Then, we have 1 over, okay, T2 minus, or the final temperature, and 1 over T1, or the initial temperature. So, basically, ang unang gagawin natin dyan, ito. So, may maka-cancel out dito, no? So, cancel out natin ito. Maka-cancel out din ito. At yung Kelvin dito, pag pinag-minus natin, may isang K na lang. So, maka-cancel out din dito ang ating K. Tama. So, wala nang matitira ditong unit para sa part na to. Ang matitira na lang na unit ay nandito, yung millimeter mercury. Okay, hindi lang natin nalagyan. So, meron yan. So, basically, unahin muna natin to using the calculator. We have 30.8 divided by 8.314 raised to negative 3. Divide muna natin yan. Then, i-multiply natin the difference of these two. Okay? So, pwedeng unahin nyo muna to. Then, yung makukuha nyo yung sagot dyan. Sabay nyo na rin to. I-divide nyo itong dalawa. Then, yung mga sagot dito, i-multiply mo sa sagot na nakuha mo dito nang pinagsama mo na silang dalawa. So, the answer is, now, ayan. So, ito yung sagot natin. Nung kinuha na natin yung sagot niyan. So, up to 3 decimal places tayo, no? So, we have 0.596. So, napapansin natin, wala na siyang mga units kasi na-cancel out na yan. Okay? So, ang natin, meron pa tayo ditong, value sa kabila, sa left side. So, anong gagawin natin dyan? Kailangan maiwan tong P2 kasi siya yung hinahanap natin. Diba? I-calculate natin yung vapor pressure ng 25 degrees Celsius or yung pangalawang temperature natin. So basically, we will going to transpose. Transpose natin. So pwedeng ito, okay? Transpose natin, no? Okay, pwede namang muna pala natin to. I-simplify pa pula natin to. Simplify muna natin to, guys. So we have the ln 183 from the calculator. Yung ln dyan, nakikita nyo sa calculator. So, pindutin nyo lang yon. So, lalabas yan, 5.209. Round of 5 to 3 decimal places. Ngayon, pwede natin i-combine like terms. So, sino ito transpose natin? Pag sasamahin natin tong ating number dito at saka to. So, basically, pwedeng ilipat to sa kabila or ito. Nasa atin na lang yan kung sino ito transpose natin. So, basically, okay, kung ita-transpose natin ito, transpose natin ito, no? Ilalabas natin, dahil negative yan, magiging positive. Ito na siya. Then ito, dahil positive yan, pag i-transpose natin sa kabila, maging negative. So 5.209 minus 0.596, the answer is 4.613. Next, ano gagawin? Kailangan natin maiwan to. So ito yung hinahanap. So meron pa tayong loan. Okay, how to cancel loan? So kailangan natin siya lagyan ng E. Okay? Maglagay lang tayo ng E dyan. So dahil naglagay tayo ng E, makakancel out na to. At the same time, lalagay din tayo ng E dito. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ngayon dito ng ganitong equation. So nawala na yung loan, nakatabi ng P2 natin. So P2 na lang natitira, which is yun yung hinahanap. Then sa kabila, naglagay din tayo ng E. So yung E na yan, so paano kung ginagawa sa calculator yan? Shift loan. So kung ginamit natin yung loan kanina, so basically, isi-shift nyo lang yung yung loan natin. At lalabas yun na E. Okay? Shift loan lang natin. Then lalabas yung E. Then ilagay natin yung 4.613. So the final answer is, we have 101 millimeter mercury. This is the final answer. Ito yung hinahanap kanina. Ito yung vapor pressure at 25 Celsius. So, bakit naging ganito ng unit natin? Kasi nga sabi ko kanina may unit dapat to. So, hindi lang natin nilagay. So, basically, P2 naman yan. So, ano ba yung P2 natin? So, ito yung P1 kasi natin. So, the same sila dapat ng unit. So, therefore, we have the vapor pressure 2 is 101 millimeter mercury. Okay? So, sana naintindihan natin, no? Kung may clarification kayo, pwede nyo i-chat or PM to our GCs and kailangan ng calculator dito. Baka manu-manuhin nyo yan. Mahirap yan. Ayan. So, yan basically ay yung laman ng ating module for this week. I hope malinaw sa inyo ang ating properties of liquids at kung paano nagkakaroon ng solve using the Clausius equation. Okay? Clipperon equation. So, I hope you have learned something and propose ko na sa inyong Google Classroom yung inyong self-check and the job sheet. Okay. So, thank you. If you have any clarification, doon lang tayo sa ating GC, no? Chat na lang ako doon. So, I hope you've learned something for this module. Thank you. Keep safe and see you. See you. Kita kayo ba tayo? See you next meeting.